Groundhog Day tells the story of weatherman Phil Connors stuck in an endless loop of alarm clocks, weather reports, and Ned Ryersons. The cycle is broken at the end of the movie, but not before Phil has relived the same day dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of times. Exactly how long does it take for Phil to transform from jerk to nice guy? How many Groundhog Days are in Groundhog Day? Let's find out. There are a lot of ways to count days in this movie, and each one gives a different number. We'll look at 3 of them and let you decide which one is best. First, the least number of days there could possibly be in the Groundhog Day loop. To reach this number, we'll only count a new day when we absolutely have to. So every time we see Phil waking up to an alarm clock, it must be the start of a new day. There are 12 alarm clock scenes in the movie. The last one is February 3rd, the day after Groundhog Day, so it doesn't count. So far, we're up to 11 days. Other new day indicators include things like a night scene followed by a day scene, the same scene back to back, or any scene that follows a death scene. In other spots, a whole lot of stuff happens right in a row without any obvious new day indicators, so we count it all as just one day. Like when Phil goes through his usual routine, then sees a neurologist in the next scene, visits a psychiatrist in the next scene, goes to the bowling alley, goes joyriding, and finally winds up in jail. It's likely that these things happened over several different days, but it's possible it all happened in just one day, so that's how we're going to count it, just one day. With this method, Phil lives through at least 33 Groundhog Days, the first one, and 32 repeats. 33 is the minimum number of Groundhog Days in the film. A second method gives us the maximum number of days shown in the loop. Instead of cramming a lot into one day, now we're taking the other extreme by assuming that every time we move to a new scene, we're also witnessing a new day. For example, after Phil lives through his first Groundhog Day, which we count as day 1, he wakes up, greets a guy in the hall, talks to the maitre d', exits the bed and breakfast, runs into Ned, and so forth and so on all the way to the end of the loop. This is an extreme way of counting days that's probably totally bogus, but it does provide another sort of baseline, the maximum number of Groundhog Days shown in the film. Grand total, 91. Third and finally, we'll take a comprehensive approach to get the most accurate number possible. In doing this, there's a few assumptions we'll make. First, Phil is an average guy who learns things at an average speed. He's not a superhuman, so he's not going to go from beginner to pro at the piano in just a week or anything crazy like that. Second, Phil only learns as much as he needs to escape the loop. He doesn't become a master pianist or become fluent in French or anything like that. And third, to make the math easy to track, we'll assume Phil focuses on just one skill or talent per day. We'll ignore multitasking. Okay, let's dive in. We start with our counter at 1 day, the original Groundhog Day Phil lived through. Next, we'll add all the comments Phil makes about time. There are 3 of them. At the theater, he says,
"I've seen it over 100 times.
More than 100, so we'll add 101. Next, he tells Rita she could learn to throw cards in
6 months, 4 to 5 hours a day, and you'd be an expert.
Add 6 months worth. He lists ways he's died.
Been stabbed, shot, poisoned, frozen, hung, electrocuted, and burned.
Oh, really?
7 deaths, add 7 days. Next, we'll consider how many days it would take to learn the timing of events. The timing to commit the perfect crime, catch a kid at the right instant, be ready with a jack to fix a flat, find, buy, and deliver WrestleMania tickets, know instinctively when a tray will drop. Also, memorize all the answers to an episode of Jeopardy, and memorize exactly what Larry is going to say. Next, we'll add all the skills Phil develops. How to save a man from choking, play 2 piano songs like a pro, memorize and speak a few lines of French with an accent, sculpt ice like a champ, and adjust a man's back. And finally, all of the socializing and development, getting to know the life stories of Doris, Debbie and Fred, Bill, Gus, Tom, and Alice, seducing Nancy, arranging a date for the movies, trying and failing to save an old man from dying, befriending Ned Ryerson and buying insurance, and finally, and most significantly for Phil's development, learning every detail of the life story, quirks, preferences, and personality of Rita, and molding yourself into a version of yourself that she'll fall in love with in just 1 day. Grand total, 4,576 days, or 12 years, 6 months, 11 days. That's a really, really long time to relive 1 day. It turns out this estimate matches what co-writer and director Harold Ramis thought. In his audio commentary, Ramis says he thought it'd take about 10 years for Phil to evolve and break the loop. Later, Ramis increased this number to 30 or 40 years to allow for all the downtime and misguided efforts Phil probably made. But these extra decades of downtime are impossible to account for, since most of the movie focuses on Phil's growth, not on his wasted time. In this light, 4,576 days, or 12 years, 6 months, and some change might not be spot on, but it's at least in the neighborhood. And for a movie whose message is much more about forgiveness, reinvention, growth, and love, being in the neighborhood is fine by us. That's it for our Groundhog Day breakdown. What do you think of our estimate? What would you do with all the time in the world? And what movie should we analyze next? For more great videos just like this one, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and remember,
watch out for that first step, it's a doozy!